Around My Story.
I have been used to trusting people quickly and believing in them all my life, and this has caused me many problems. My father used to punish me because of this. I am Princess Charlotte, and my father is the king of the state. Perhaps my royal upbringing is the reason why I trust people easily. Put yourself in my place. I don't even deal with anyone outside the palace. Even during my studies, I was always surrounded by guards, and that's why I saw the royal guards in their black uniforms as just another set of cells that imprisoned me further. Except for Michael. Michael was one of the guards, and he gave me more freedom in movement and interaction than the others. The day he had been assigned to guarding me, I was trying out many new things with him. Perhaps what's new to me is ordinary to you, but for me, Michael represented the freedom I longed for. Before taking care, I had fallen in love with him, and I realized the danger of it. Royal traditions would hurt him, and hurt me even more, and prevent me from ascending to the throne. But the throne was insignificant compared to the importance of Michael's safety. During this time, the country was in crisis, and a great revolution arose demanding my father's removal from the throne. Those were difficult days, so I could not confess my true feelings to my father regarding Michael and wished I wasn't the king's daughter. At that time, Michael made a strange request of me. One day, he dared to suggest that we escape and leave the palace together, abandoning my wealth, jewelry, and royal power, and starting a new life with him, away from all this, the palace and the revolution that was about to overthrow everything. At first, I was scared of the idea, and I thought it was crazy. I was upset that Michael had dared to ask for it, but that made me resort to the last solution, and I asked my father to allow me to marry Michael. My father was furious, and I think if I were not his daughter, he would have kicked me out of the palace. But what happened was that, in my foolishness, I caused my father to discover whom I loved, expelled Michael from my personal guard, and would have also kicked him out of the entire country if I had not begged him. The revolution grew more and more every day. The fall of the king was imminent. However, after a period of grieving for the rejection of my marriage and the broken contact with Michael, I decided to take the step that encouraged me to end the crisis and quell the revolution against my father. Despite my great love for my father, his standing in the way of my desire forced me to walk away. I left my wealth, my royalty, and my father, and went to live with Michael in a modest place compared to where I used to live, and married him. As the days passed, a new spark of revolution started, and every day I would see the news with fear for my father's life, which was shattered after my departure. Michael's behavior started to change. He became more nervous and irritable, and he would disappear for long periods of time. I didn't even know what he was working on. Until one day, during an argument, he hit me with great force and I passed out. When I woke up, there were cameras pointed at me and Michael was standing there talking while wearing a mask. I recognized his voice as he announced in front of the camera that he had the king's daughter with him and he was surrounded by armed men. It turned out that Michael was a member of a secret revolutionary organization whose goal was to overthrow the monarchy. I was terrified and shocked and unable to speak, and everything in my mind collapsed as I saw the person I loved and his truth. But one day the place I was in was raided, and a large number of soldiers took me outside. On my way out, I saw Michael's body laying on the ground. Everything was over, and I returned to the palace after a while. The revolution ended after the rebels were killed. I returned to my royal life after my father forgave me, and since then, I've realized that appearance can be very deceiving.